So this is my horticulture project. I have chosen to kind of base it out of Oregon. So a lot of the plants that you will be seeing here are native to Oregon, including most of the trees and yeah, stuff like that. So essentially, the house is a north-facing house where the front door is north, but the backyard faces more towards the south. So that way, throughout the day, the trees and plants can get more equal lighting instead of having the sun completely set on one side. Since the sun travels from east to west, the yard, both front and back, will be able to get more sunlight throughout the day. I'm going to flip to the back where I have my key. Essentially, I have 20 plants on here. Some of the bigger circles indicate that the plant is more of a tree, while the smaller circles indicate that they're more of a potted plant or bush sort of plant that don't need to take up as much space. To structure the outline of this layout, I decided that I wanted to go for a big privacy aspect. As you can see here with the greenery over here and over here, you can see that I chose to do more of a tree lining on a lot of the parts of the house, so that way there could be more privacy overall in the yard. I've also chosen to add a patio, a fire pit, and a pool, as well as some potted plants, so that way they weren't just all over the yard, but instead they were in pots, as well as up at the front some potted plants and some larger trees just to fill in the overall look of the front yard. So some of the plants that I chose to put on this project were the evergreen huckleberry, the showy milkweed, red flowering currant, tick seed, snowberry, rose, tall Oregon grape, black-eyed Susan, rose checker mallow, ocean spray, false Solomon seal, blue false indigo, coneflower, yarrow, daylily, cascara, Pacific dogwood, Pacific ninebark, bitter cherry, and manzanita. I also decided to indicate where there was potting soil, black mulch, which I included around the trees, and then as well as what the different grasses were for the backyard and for the front yard. I believe for the backyard I put just turf, and then for the front yard I opted to put a fresh new layer of grass to make it look nice. As you can see, each of these circles are different, indicating different plants. A lot of the plants that have multiple colors are generally in grouped areas where the potted plants are maybe a bit smaller, so you can tell them apart, where the bigger dots are the mostly trees and bigger plants that stand a bit more individually, so that way they stand out a bit more in my graph. That is my project.